Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why your friends don't understand. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when you're healing or when you're out of the relationship and you figured out what you were up against, your friends are not going to understand. They're not going to be able to wrap their head around what you experienced. Most of these people never will know firsthand what the toxic narcissistic relationship is about. They can read about it, they can watch videos, they can listen to, but they cannot fathom the level of abuse that you tolerated. They cannot fathom what it's like having the front door open and not knowing if it's Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. They can't fathom being given the silent treatment for a whole weekend. They don't understand what financial abuse is. They will never know what projection is, what mirroring is. Yeah, they probably know what gaslighting is to a degree because that's one of the key words that came out a couple of years ago that everyone was talking about. Many people think they know what narcissism is because maybe they do know what gaslighting is, or maybe their friends were in a narcissistic relationship or claimed that they were. Truth of the matter is, if you know what kind of relationship you were in, and if you had to heal from it, most likely you were in a toxic, debilitating, challenging, life-threatening narcissistic relationship from hell. Guilty as charged here. Yes, I was in one and I almost didn't make it out, but I did. And here I am paying it forward, helping you keep your cup full and paying the wisdom each and every chance and each and every day I get to help you fortify yourself, to help you insulate yourself, and to help you realize that specifically post-relationship, your friends are going to get burned out. Your immediate family members, if any of them are loyal to you, and maybe some of them are, possibly none of them, who knows, they too will get burnt out if they don't know what you went through. Heck, when you're going through it, in other words, when you're understanding what it is, it's hard for you to even figure it out until you finally do. That's why this is the healing path. You must remember the healing path is not linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time, you will heal if you utilize the tools that are provided for you with each and every video I create, and from all the amazing, insightful comments full of wisdom and experience from all over the world. Excuse me. See, at one point, we're all what is known as the new supply. It's not a fun term to be called that, but that's what we were. And the new supply is one of three people. They're either a new shiny object, which means a brand new person who is naive, vulnerable, who is probably too giving, who was and or is an open book, maybe has a high level of empathy and trusting and committed. That's who I was, and I'm sure that's who you were. The other new supply could be a recycled source of supply, somebody who was in the trauma bond or the narcissistic fog with the person you're considering, and they never figured it out. That is an awful lot of people. The third new supply could be a toxic person, even worse than the person you're considering. But when we, the beautiful, bright, shining lights, and that's what I am, and that's what you are, when we were targeted, we didn't know what we know now. We didn't realize that our whole world was going to take a left turn at Albuquerque, and that what we wanted to accomplish in the future, many of it or much of it would not come to fruition. You see, the narcissist derailed our hopes, our dreams, our aspirations, our purpose, our relationships, our health, our money, our time, and so much more, specifically our focus and our mindset. And when they took whatever they could take from us over a period, well, then that's when they knew that they had taken everything they wanted or all they could get their grubby little fingers on. Then they went elsewhere, which is what I like to say, and I say it because it's completely true. These people slither off into the darkness. They go to another source of supply, or they go where it's familiar. Familiarity is what the narcissist needs. They need to know that someone's going to be there for them. They need to know that someone's going to pay their cell phone bill. They need to know that someone's going to tolerate their poor behavior. They need to know that someone's going to make excuses for them. And they need to know that many people will stay stuck in that narcissistic fog, never even knowing what that person was doing to them. Again, think about this for a quick moment. Maybe you were a group, maybe you were part of a group when you were younger, maybe in high school, college, maybe it's right now. Let's say it's an exercise group, like a golfing group, or a bowling group, or a biking group, or a hiking group, something like that. Well, if you were a person who was laughing at tasteless jokes, or you were ignoring your instincts or not trusting your intuition, while one person, possibly the leader of that group, or the person who claimed to be in charge, or who founded the group, or who you always did whatever they wanted to do because that's who they were. Well, if that person was picking on people, maybe they even picked on you, well, you didn't realize what was going on and you would tolerate it. This is before you had the wisdom. Now you have the wisdom. You understand if there's toxicity anywhere in your vicinity or proximity, you're gone. You don't explain, you don't defend, you don't call people out, you don't expose them. you just say, wait a minute, I've seen that before. I know what that is. Don't even need to process it. I get it. I'm gone. I'm moving in a different direction, and I will close every avenue of communication down to that person or those people. So going back to that illustration, when you were a part of a group, say it was a golfing group, well, maybe the alleged ringleader of the golfing group would make tasteless jokes about you when you weren't on the tee box. Or maybe they would make tasteless jokes about people who weren't there. Or maybe they'd make jokes about someone getting divorced. Or maybe they'd make jokes about someone who they were in control of their future financially because that person that you're considering, maybe they employed people that they were golfing with. And what would they do? Well, they'd say either you play the game, literally and figuratively. Yes, I'm referring to golf as an example. And if you don't, you'll be fired, or you'll be put on a PIP, or I'll make your life so miserable and you won't get the hours you used to get, and you won't get the pay and the money. Well, that's what these people do. You didn't know it back then, but now you do. Not only do you know it now, but you also understand that post-relationship, when you're healing and you're figuring out what certain behaviors are, and that they all have definitions and terms. That's why you need to learn the glossary on the narcissistic abusive cycle. When you learn these things, then you realize, wait a minute, I was in more than one narcissistic cycle. I was in multiple cycles. Maybe when you were in high school, maybe it was your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Maybe it was your teacher who failed you intentionally, even though you were a straight A student, because they didn't want you to become the summa cum laude, the class valedictorian. So they failed you in a shop class. Maybe it was the gym teacher who had it out for you because maybe you didn't want to participate in gym as much because you were too concerned about learning about astrophysics or something else to help the planet. And then maybe they failed you. Who knows who it is, but the narcissist has been around you your whole life. And now that you understand so much more about narcissism, about empathy, about humanity, and above all for this video, about yourself, then you realize, wait, most of my friends and family members, and people you associate with, if you will, they're not going to understand what you're talking about. They can't wrap their head around what you're saying. They can picture the words that you're saying, but they can't actually taste the sensation, the palpable sensation of the explanations that you will be sharing with them. Because to them, it goes in one ear and out the other. Because you, just like myself, speak a different language. This is a language you didn't go to school for it deliberately or intentionally. You didn't study for it. But when you're trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle, every day you're being educated on what abuse is, manipulation is, toxicity, and narcissism. That's why I can finish your sentence in a second. No matter who you are, if you've been in the cycle, I can tell you where you are in the journey, how much work you have to do. I can tell if there's still thoughts in your mind about certain things that perhaps avenues of communication haven't closed and you're still leaving them open because you're not being honest and upfront with you. But that's not for me to tell you exactly what to do. I can guide you. I can be the beautiful, bright, shining light and steer you in the direction you need to be going and to get away from the toxic people. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to do what you need to do. And I had to teach myself all these tools. I had to learn from scratch. Nobody came knocking on my door. Nobody said, oh, by the way, Andrew, this is the relationship you're in, and that person had done it before. They did it with you. And here we go. Good luck. Hope you survive. Nothing like that happened. Many of the people that were drinking the Kool-Aid that the narcissist was pouring were loyal to them. Not necessarily subservient, but some were. But they were reliant upon the narcissist. And I'll tell you one thing, each and every one of them was believing in the mask. And what the narcissist does is they want to sell as many people on that dream, on that they're the innocent person, they're the victim. They have it so rough and they have it so challenging that you are the abuser, you are the manipulator, maybe even you are the narcissist. They sell people on those stories over and over again, but eventually it all catches up with the narcissist. It won't catch up with you because there's nothing for you to be caught up with. That's why you need to heal from the relationship, and that's why the narcissist slithers off onto other people so they can start their old song and dance all over again with a new audience. This is what they do. That's why you need to really batten down the hatches, close every avenue of communication with the toxic person or people, and you need to go no contact, block them, delete them, remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? But this is why your friends won't understand. They won't understand because they can't. I'm going to take it a different direction here for a quick moment. I've said this in years, for videos over the years, I'll say it again. Some of your friends, unbeknownst to you, even right now, you may not be aware of this, but some of your friends may also be the narcissist. Now, they may not be a macro narcissist or an apex predator, but maybe they're a micro. Maybe they're a flying monkey. Maybe they're an enabler. I don't know what exactly they are, but what I can tell you is not everybody is who they appear to be on that planet. And at the top of that list is the narcissist. So why I'm telling you that is that when you're healing or when you're trying to explain things post-relationship and you don't fully have the wisdom, but you're acquiring it and you're telling your friends what you went through or family members, some of those people are sitting back and saying, oh my God, it only took you 30, 40, 50, 70 years to figure this out. We've been abusing you the whole time. You never knew it. But I'll sit here and act like I don't really understand what you're talking about. And I'll be like, wow, do you really think that that's what they're doing? See, they'll try to misdirect you, mislead you. They won't support you. They'll still say, well, I don't think you're right. This is what toxic people do. Not all toxic people, but I'm just sharing with you. Your friends won't understand. Healthy, stable ones, they won't unless they went through it. Then there are different people who will be still hiding in the weeds, and they will claim that they're your friend or your support system, but they're actually getting supply from watching your life not only implode, but seeing if you actually figure it out of that maze of abuse and toxicity. Then there are other people, and I would be one of these people, and perhaps you are. If you're not, you will be soon, or in the future, I should say, which is people that have been in the narcissistic abusive cycle. We maintain our level of empathy. We are committed more than ever to paying it forward and helping people, and we understand what you went through. Now, were you? Or I'll speak about myself. Was I with you when you went through the toxic and narcissistic abusive cycle? No, I wasn't. I was wherever I was. But if you tell me exactly what happened, or what you recall, or what you want to discuss, then I can place myself there easily because I lived it myself. And I see it all around me, even in present day. But these people, and I'm one of them, we are the wise people. We're the people that have applied the tools. We've acquired the wisdom and we pay it forward, and we can understand what you went through. I'll go back to talking about myself. There are many people who have healed, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. But for every person who's healed, there are so many more people who haven't figured out what narcissism is. They won't. And there are many people that won't heal. You are resilient. You're full of fortitude. You're full of strength, courage, commitment, direction, and purpose. That's why you made it this far in the video. If you continue on the path and continue to move forward each and every day and continue to apply the tools that I provide for you, you one day will get where I am. That is my hope, which is the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. Then you will look back like I do every once in a while, specifically during the one-on-one sessions, and I reflect and I say, wow, nobody, and I mean nobody, knocked on my door. Many people knew the relationship that I was a part of. They sat back and grabbed their popcorn and watched my life implode. And they watched me be abused over and over and over again, and they didn't lift a finger to do anything. And it's a shame on them, just like it's a shame on the narcissists, plural, all over the planet. But the narcissist does what they do. They don't care, they won't be accountable, they won't introspect, and they won't make a positive change in their life. All they will do is continue to play that same old record that will go round and around and around on a loop. And they will continue to insert sources of supply in the narcissistic abusive cycle, keep other people trapped, and always be looking over their shoulder for the ghosts and the demons that will haunt them for eternity. This is what the narcissist does. This is why they can't sit still. This is why they're always on the run. This is why they can never be satiated or satisfied with any one person or any one relationship. And this is why they have a bottomless pit within them that can never be filled permanently with anything. No amount of money, time, empathy, love, energy, or relationships can fill that void, and they know it. So having said all these things, why your friends don't understand, it's because they didn't go through the cycle. And my hope is they never do go through the cycle. You need to remember this, and this is a trigger warning for some of you. I'm just going to say it. And I have removed trigger warnings. I mentioned a couple of those in the early days of the videos in 2021 and a little bit in 2022. I'll just throw one in here right now because each and every one of my videos are ad-libbed right now, and I'm in the middle of the Carolina woods, and I'm going to insert this right now. Trigger warning would be that once you are out of the cycle, you need to figure out how to heal. You need to figure out what to do. And many people won't be able to do that. Many people will stay stuck pining for the narcissist. Many people will stay stuck blaming themselves. And many people will still be loyal to the narcissist. That is not me. And my hope is that's not you. Trigger warning here is that you need to understand that nobody, and I mean no one's going to come knock on your door and save the day for you. You're going to have to really, really focus on yourself. And you're going to have to really understand that the narcissist knew what they were doing. They did it intentionally and deliberately. They're doing it right now. And they don't care about doing anything other than keeping people stuck. So why I'm saying all those things before I close the video is your friends, many of your friends, they unfortunately in the future, they may actually go through a narcissistic relationship. Maybe it's happening right now and you're just watching the budding relationship and you're closing your eyes saying, oh my gosh, I hope they're okay. That very well could take place. I'm not talking about you. You have the wisdom and you're getting the wisdom and you're acquiring the tools. I'm talking about your friends. Maybe it's your siblings, can't tell you. Maybe it's your adult children, I don't know. But you may be saying there, oh my gosh, I wish I could tell them. I wish I could get them out of that narcissistic fog. I wish I could get them out of marrying that person or relocating or going into business or moving in with somebody, whatever it was. You need to understand that everybody's on their own journey on this planet called Earth. And you can do whatever you need to do to help people. But when the jaws or the claws or the fangs of the narcissist have been embedded in a human being, which was me and probably was you, you're pretty much helpless until you either A, get discarded, or B, you're strong enough to remove yourself from the relationship. That is a tough pill to swallow, but it's real. Again, it's a trigger warning. I won't say it again. I'm just letting you know that you can only do so much. You can't make anybody do what they don't want to do, specifically if they're an adult. And you need to go back in time. When you were in the relationship, in the beginning of that narcissistic relationship, if somebody, not the narcissist, if somebody said, hey, listen, I've heard some not good things about your partner here, your romantic interest, your friend, whoever it is, and I've heard a lot of bad things about them. I'd be very careful. You probably would have said, no, I know what I'm doing, I can handle it, or that's not real, or I heard that that's just baloney, or it's made up stories, whatever. You wouldn't have believed your friend, because if you would have, then you would, if you would have believed them, then that means the narcissist hadn't sunken their fangs into that deeply. But that's not what happened. What happened is you were already in it too deep. And that's how, when you got out of it, you found that needle in a haystack, just like I did, and you took the ball and you ran with it. That's what very few people do. That's what I did, and that's why I healed, and that's what you're doing, or you have done, and that's why you healed. So why I'm saying all these things, and I will close the video, as many people you're in the future, could be your adult children, could be your friends, could be your siblings, colleagues, coworkers, neighbors, I don't know who they are, but they may be entering a narcissistic relationship right now, and you may be powerless to do anything because they're already caught up in the cycle. They already have the claws or the fangs sunken into them on the hands or on the behalf of the narcissist. And that's why you, the person who's healing or who has healed, you need to really maintain your boundaries, and you need to have a small footprint, and you need to focus on what you can control. Control what you can control. So that's the video, everyone. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And understand a few things. I have the earbuds in again to see if the sound is any better. Please drop comments below. I believe the sound is better for the videos, but I need to hear what you all say. And on top of that, understand something. Why your friends don't understand, it's very simple. One, they can't fathom what you went through because they didn't go through it. Number two, it's like an alien landed and disrupted your whole life cycle. And at times you yourself will be scratching your head saying, did that happen? Was that real? Well, yes and yes. And number three is some of those people, probably a small group of them, but some of them probably are toxic themselves, but they're just keeping their own mask on. Maybe people you don't see that often. Maybe you only see them once a month, or you don't talk to them that often. And they're just sitting back saying, wow, I'm actually doing a great job. I still have access to this fuel source, and they're telling me how they were in a narcissistic relationship, but I'm just gonna act dumb, like I don't know what's going on, and I'll continue to milk them and learn how I can fine-tune my craft and fine-tune my skill set for the person I will abuse next. The narcissist is everywhere. You need to understand this. You need to get away from them as far and as fast as you possibly can. So that's the video. I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.